Hello and welcome to Keep Your Daydream. I'm Trish and this is Mark, and today we're here to give you an awesome tour.
We're going to give you a tour of what we're calling Grand Ginger, which is a 37-foot Grand Design Reflection bunkhouse. And of course, if you wanted to see what a Grand Design Reflection looked like, you could just go to their website and you could check it out. But what really makes an RV tour helpful is what Trish did to it.
Oh, wow, thank you.
It's the organization. It's how do you make the most of a small space. It's where do you put everything, right?
It's kind of a challenge. Now, if you're new around here, we are 5 people. That's 3 teenagers, Mark and myself. So if you've ever gone on a vacation with teenagers, you know everything kind of explodes from, tip to tail, right? So organizing is so important, especially when you're in a small space.
So you're gonna get a glimpse of what this rig looks like, but Trish is gonna share some of her secrets in terms of where she put some of the things that might be helpful to you. Everything that Trish mentions in this video will be at keepyourdaydream.com/Grand Ginger. So pop over there and you'll get links to everything we mentioned in this episode. All right, you ready to start?
Yes, let's do this. Where should we start? The kitchen?
That's where the magic happens.
So welcome to the rig. Let me just give you a quick little 360 on what is in the main living area. First, you have your kitchen dining area with 2 bench seats, and then this folds down. You can make it into a bed, but it's pretty tiny. So grandkids, little kids, we use it for a couch to watch movies. Then you have your double seats here. They recline. It's really super nice. And we have a media area, kitchen island, super awesome. And then there's the fireplace, the flat screen, the stove and all of that, double-sided fridge, and then this is what we're using as our, all of our dish storage and things like that. And then we have a coffee bar. This kitchen has an island. It's so gorgeous, but I think this is an appropriate time to mention that wherever you are in your journey in RVing, start wherever you can. Whatever gets you on the road and what gets your family together and gets you seeing new places is the best place to start. And we didn't have a kitchen island when we started. We crawled over each other and we were tight, but we had a lot of fun. But now that I have a kitchen island, I really appreciate it because when I'm making dinner, I can actually put everybody's plates out and serve them. They don't have to just stand with their plate next to me. One of the great things about this is that you can hide your dishes. What I've done is I've used this collapsible dish tray. Isn't that cool? Look how tiny it is. And it has little arms. I use this so that I can do my dishes here as they come along and dry them right here, and then it all drains out the bottom. So one of the best things that we learned in organizing Ginger One is using small space solutions. So when you have these small spaces, think about things like what you would use to organize a locker or underneath a sink, and find ways to organize your pots and pans. We have 2 locker shelves in here, and that way we can double our space, and we found a way to keep the topper for our sink off to the side. Okay, I love command strips. One of the coolest little command strips are these clips. And then I have my gloves exactly where I want them, and they're not dripping on all of our clean dishes. One of the things that I love about this rig, and I didn't even think about when we were looking at rigs, is that there are no vents on the floor. So when you're sweeping, you don't sweep all your things into the vents. And there's a kick plate. So when you open the door, you're not just running it across the top of your toes. I cannot tell you how many times I did that in our first rig. This rig came with glass cabinets. Well, for me, I'm thinking, okay, so are the plates just gonna hit the glass while we're driving? So I found the biggest drawer and I put all of the plates, bowls, and other things in the drawer. When you're dealing with an RV kitchen, getting 4 drawers is like a total luxury. So one of the things that I love doing is putting all the silverware out on the countertop. So I have just this little caddy tray that I can bring outside if we're having dinner outside, and I can keep all of my utensils really close to the stove. The other thing to think about is using the depth in your drawers. Down here in the knife drawer, I have a big tray where the knives slide in, and then I have another little piece of Tupperware that goes on top. This is where I keep all of my olive oils really close to the stove, and it's a great bin that I can just pull right out. It's a little heavy now, but it's the same process that I used in the last rig, except the bin was a little smaller. But I can pull this out and I can make dressings. I can use any of the olive oils I need, any of the spiced things that I need for cooking. Okay, so let's chat about the fridge. For me, I really like these organizational drawers. I put deli meats in one, I put leftovers in one, and then it helps so that when I open my fridge, everything doesn't come pouring out after we've been driving around. Okay, one of the things I love about this rig is that we have our own little coffee bar area. This is like a main attraction. We have our toaster going here, we got coffee going, we have all kinds of stuff happening. Our command strip paper towel, perfect. What was happening is there were spills and there was peanut butter and there was honey and stuff like that, and then our phones were getting placed here. So we needed a solution. I found these cool little caddies and you just put them up. You can take them down, they're not going to damage the wood. And then there's a USB port right up on top next to the light. And we color coordinated so that we know the pink stays here and it doesn't get adopted by someone else. So anyway, and then you drop your phone in there and it's not sitting on the coffee machine where it's gonna get hot or get peanut buttered and jellied on the counter. I was a little concerned about glass cabinets. I mean, they're really cool, but I was thinking, okay, so what happens when something bangs into them on a rough road? Like, we're going to Alaska this summer. What's gonna happen to these things? So I thought, well, why don't we put some soft containers in here, and that way we can keep all of our mugs safe and sound, and they're not, you know, banging up against the glass. And then we have like our plastic wine glasses. These are super cool. Look at how great they are, and they're totally plastic. We used to have the ones that were soft and squeezy, but I was ready to elevate. That provides like a whole secondary layer that you can go and do. And then, so everything's organized. Now we have a coffee area, we have coffee, we have filters, and then it just goes right back up. We have mugs, and we have tea, and then something else is in here. Oh, random cups. Okay, a lot of people think that this fireplace is just for looks, and how do I know? Because I used to think that. But this throws out a tremendous amount of heat, and then you're not pulling from your propane tanks. Really helpful. Even if you're not traveling in the snow, if it gets a little chilly in the morning or at night, this is beautiful to have. So while we're in this area, let me chat with you about a few things. I love adding extra seating, and these are really cool because they make you feel like it's kind of house-ish. I got them at Marshall's or something like that, but they're everywhere, these little bar stools. And I thought if I got one at an alternating height, then I could just stack them. But I use this as a footstool. The kids pull this up to the bar and we eat, we pull it up to the table. It's an extra chair. These things come in handy all the time. Welcome to the media area. This is a whole nother buffet section in this Grand Design. It is so cool. So we've organized a bunch of stuff up here, but this is one of the highlights I could not wait to share with you. This is called Photo Squared, and we were hanging out with some insiders at their rig, and they purchased these, and I was like, those are the coolest things ever. So we went and we got some of these from each one of our seasons. We put a different picture and we hung them up. Here's what we did. We put these little bins together so we know where to go for batteries, we know where to go for all the GoPro accessories, because there are a lot. And then, you know, tech items. I'm not tall enough to see this. Oh, cords. This is my favorite box of all because I find cords everywhere and now I know where to put them. But this is just an easy way to make sure that you stay organized so you know what you need before you need it.
Let's take a quick little break from the inside and share with you a few things on the outside, starting with the outdoor kitchen. Small confession, we have not actually used the outdoor kitchen, but in our defense, we bought Grand Ginger in the wintertime and the opportunity has not quite come. So in the outside, we've got a small sink that has a pass-through hose, and we've got a small storage in terms of cupboards and places up top that it has a netting that it holds things in from coming out. And then of course, you've got the microwave and a small refrigerator. Most importantly, we've got a 2-burner stove that just comes out into a drawer, and then another drawer for other storage. So I think this could be ideal if you have friends and you're kind of hanging out by the campfire, you have a little place to grill, and prepare dinner. Let's talk about the awning. I've heard some complaints that because the awning goes over the passenger side slide, that you don't get the full use of the awning, which is true. But I'm showing you this angle so you can see just about how much of the awning you still have even in front of the slide. The other thing the awning does is it blocks the LED light, so you get a little bit of the LED coverage over by the door and then maybe a little bit over here by the outdoor kitchen, but not much. But there still is adequate lighting with the LED. All right, let's have Trish talk about the bathroom, the master, and then I will meet you back up at the nose to show you some of the storage in Grand Ginger.
Let's go down the hall where we have the bathroom, or what we're calling command central station, and a secondary place to get ready. This is a place for us to write down what's going on, where we want to go, things that are on our mind. But also, when you check into an RV resort, you need a place for all the pieces of paper that they love to give you. I swear we get like 17 pieces of paper, and one of them has the Wi-Fi code on it. So we're like, where's the Wi-Fi code? So now when we get all those random sheets of paper, we can put them right up here in our little inbox. We kind of stash our sunglasses up there. There's just a little place for everything. Ideas and paper. And then behind me, I have this mirror. We did this on the last rig too. Number one, it totally opens the space because we're working with small spaces. But number two, it helps with a secondary place for people to get ready. If you have any teenagers, they can sit down here, they can do their makeup, or you can just see what your outfit looks like, but it gets you out of the bathroom, which is in high demand. Talked about this before. The inside of your rig is like a tornado, hurricane, earthquake all at the same time. So when you open up your medicine cabinet, everything used to fall out on us, but not anymore. Now we have these little pinch rods and we keep them up here so that everything is not just falling on top of you whenever you open up the medicine cabinet. Sometimes you'll see these magnetic strips holding knives on a kitchen wall, but I like using them inside the bathroom because it's super easy. You have your fingernail clippers, you put it on, you know exactly where to go look for them. That's awesome. When you're in a rig, you probably need to kind of edit some of the makeup and moisturizers and things that you would normally bring, repurpose things. So technically this is for a desk, but I'm using it for makeup. And I love that it's made out of chicken wire so that I can hang my earrings on them. Someone sent me little hand earrings. So storing all of your paper products like paper towels and toilet paper is sometimes challenging. And the last thing you want to do is hear from someone in the bathroom, "Mom, I need toilet paper." And you're like, I have to move 100 things in order to get to it. So now we have this fantastic little toilet paper holder, and we have extra toilet paper and the easy to put on toilet paper, okay? How many of you find your toilet paper like this when you go back in? Because
monsters.
This is all you have to do.
Just monsters.
And then in your bathroom, you're gonna want some kind of sleek, skinny, maybe long, just assess your space for the kind of trash can you need so that you can tuck it in a corner, and usually just like a little foot pedal, and definitely with a lid. So here is the shower. It is built for someone super tall, not for me, which is great. So you can actually get water on your head. But what I liked in here, I found some really cool command strip containers for razors and for soap so that it's up off the ground and it's not sliding all over the place. And I found some rubber command hooks that have rubber on the edges so you can hang up wet towels or wet bathing suits because you don't want them over here and then dripping all over the floor. There's 3 upgrades we made to this bathroom that were really important. First one, the sink, because the sink was too low, you couldn't get under it to wash your face. The second was the toilet seat. Yes, you can replace the toilet seat on your RV toilet, and it is a slow closing so we don't have to hear bang, crash, and the toilet seat was like a square. It was kind of weird. And then the other thing was a lock. So Mark installed a little latch lock that you can lock the sliding door, and everyone is happy. Welcome to the master bedroom. This rig, you are able to walk all the way around the bed, which is huge. So when you're making the bed, you don't look like, I don't know, like a bunny rabbit hopping up trying to fit all the covers in. So we replaced the mattress with the mattress we were using at home, which is phenomenal. If you go into any rig, no matter what kind it is, you're probably gonna wanna take a look at that mattress. Find a neutral comforter that you can use because you can switch up the pillows and it just makes it feel a little bit bigger. Okay, the other thing that we totally love for organization is a shoe container. This is just a long piece of fabric that's made to put in your sneakers, but it's big enough for even Mark's big running sneakers. Okay, with how many times I mention command hooks, you'd think that I'm getting paid from them, but I am not. You want to look for something that has a bigger hook, otherwise your hats are just going to fall off. So here's a bigger hook. You can put them right up there, set it and forget it. We don't have to talk about it again. Okay, this right here is where you could put a dual washing machine and dryer. Super cool, ventilated, so that you can have this in here. But when you're traveling with an 18-year-old daughter, you make some, what are they called?
Concessions?
Yeah, and that means this is her closet. I'm not even gonna open it. We're just gonna leave it alone. Typically, I wouldn't really get velvet covered hangers, only because they're a little bit annoying when you try to pull your clothes off. It's like, the hanger wants to come with you. But in this situation, because everything is moving, your clothes are staying on the hanger and they're really super skinny, so you can get twice the amount of clothes in your closet.
Let's have a quick conversation around these steps. These aluminum steps are a nice upgrade, and they're really sturdy, and I like the way they look and the way that they function. All of that's great. However, in the wintertime, we learned the hard way, Carson and I did, that they get awfully slippery when it gets frosty outside or it's snowing. In fact, I've got the scars to prove it. So one of the solutions is that we ordered these mat covers, or these step covers, from online. I think it made the steps look even more attractive. They're no longer slippery, and in the summertime, it keeps the dust down. So this was a nice little upgrade. Okay, we're here in the nose, and I gotta say, I am really satisfied with the amount of space that's up here. It's a big step up from Ginger 1.0. And by the way, if you're new here, Ginger is the name of our rig, and Grand Ginger is the name of this rig. But what I really like about the storage is it has kind of this large shape that allows me to put our Zamp solar portable system up here in the nose, which is really convenient, plus our vacuum that we have, our Viair pump, some tools, but then it has this plastic container on both sides where I can keep extension cords, and I can keep like all the conversions from like 30 amp to 50 amp and 30 amp to 110. All of the electrical goes right here, not to mention the chocks. But I think the thing I like the most is the fact that it has built-in automatic lights. So every time I open up the door, the lights turn on automatically. Love that. And by the way, the door has a really good latch that locks, and then when it comes up, it sticks to a magnet up top to hold it up. So that whole system is very convenient. Let's go over and take a look at the other side where all the hookups go. Okay, here we are on the other side, and one of the things I loved right off the bat is the fact that the hose goes up underneath the frame through this little access panel and into the city water connection. That's just a really clean setup. And then of course you have all of the connections, and you just follow the patterns for if you're dry camping or if you're hooked up to city water, whatever the case is. And then there is an extra hose where you can hose off the rig. There's connections up there. And just like the other side, it has this plastic area in the front where I put all the hoses and anything that can get wet. A lot of people have asked, what do we do with that gigantic grill, that Camp Chef 3-burner grill that Trish loves so much? Well, here's where it goes right here. So when we downsize grills, which is probably an upcoming video, then I'm gonna reclaim all of this space. There are 3 tanks on this rig. I've got the gray water tank right here that goes from the shower in the bathroom. I've got a second gray water tank that's dedicated just to the kitchen, which is really nice to have. And then of course our black tank. And then the outdoor sink in the kitchen is just a pass-through that you connect to an additional sewer line if you so desired. The other thing that's pretty handy is this little switch right here turns on the LED lights up on the front end cap, and that's pretty nice when you're hooking up at nighttime or you're trying to get something out of your truck that you've got a bunch of lights in the front. Now I think the only thing left is to show you the bunkhouse. So let's pop inside and have Trish show you that.
So let me show you the bunkhouse. It sleeps 3 kids, possibly 4 if you want to be tight. We have a bunk over here, we've got a bunk over here, we have a couch that folds out. That's where possibly 2 kids could go. But this pushes up so that you can sit here, there's a TV area, and then there's huge storage. Bunkhouse did not come with a TV, but Mark went and purchased a smaller TV that was similar to the one that was already here, and then we just got an arm for it so that we can put it inside of the TV space.
Okay, so there's the inside where Trish had all of her tips and tricks on how to organize and how to make the most of a small space, so good job on that.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about how is the rig working out for us, because that is the big question. Okay, so how's the new rig? That's what everyone says. How's the new rig?
How's the new rig?
So how's the new rig?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we're loving it.
Are you kidding? I want to do snow angels on the kitchen island.
Yeah. Let's talk about pros and cons. So the biggest pro that we have found so far are those really 2 big windows.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous to be able to look out at all the view instead of going like this.
Yep.
down the tiny little windows that we had before.
And then the second favorite thing is the fact that the slides are opposing. And when you have opposing slides, you just have a massive living room area to work. And so that really has been a big help.
Well, voila, then we have a kitchen island.
Yes. And then the third thing we like is that our bedroom has a closing door and the kids are completely in the bunkhouse. Caleb is not sleeping in the living room anymore,
Right.
which means that we can wake up in the morning, make ourselves a cup of coffee in the coffee bar, and then we can go sit down in our chairs, turn the fireplace on if it's a little chilly, and we can get a couple hours of work done before anyone wakes up.
Yes.
So that's been a bit of a game changer for us.
That's key to productivity for us.
Okay, so let's talk about some cons because there's no such thing as a perfect rig.
No, there is no such thing as a perfect rig. I really only have one con.
Okay, what's that?
Is that you walk right into the bathroom. So when you're welcoming new people, you're like, hello. Oops, let me just close that so you're not looking at our toilet.
Yeah. And then my con is that although I love the opposing slide, I wouldn't trade it for anything, it does block access to the kitchen. So when we're traveling, we have access to the bathroom, we have access to the master, but we need to open that slide 6 to 12 inches, depending on your stature, and get into the kitchen. Now, once you're in, you have access, once you move it out 6 inches, you have access to the bunkhouse, you have access to the right side of the fridge, everything's fine. I mean, so Trish has a con and I have a con, but generally speaking, we're completely happy.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were surprised. We went with another travel trailer instead of a fifth wheel.
We were surprised.
We were
that
surprised.
wasn't exactly what we were
A lot of space. In a 37-foot travel trailer, there's a lot of space in this rig. So we're very happy with everything we've done, but I wouldn't be surprised if a fifth wheel is next. So we got to start preparing for that next RV tour.
In the meantime, how about we make a drink and celebrate what we have?
Yes. Okay, so that is it for this tour. So if you want more information and links to everything Trish mentioned, just go to keepyourdaydream.com/Grand Ginger and check that out. And other than that, man,
we're just so happy you came.
Yeah. So otherwise, there's just a few little upgrades that we're going to do to get Grand Ginger ready for Alaska this summer. So stay tuned for those upgrade videos. And other than that, we will catch you this weekend.
Perfect.